Well, come on in. Great to have you along. We call this the Cosmic Watch. I'm Franklin, your astrologer, and in the next hour, we will we'll have a look at the skies and what's going on cosmically out there for you and I, and for those who join us in our chat room. In the next hour, we will have the chat room open, and subscribers to the channel can ask questions and have readings, and that's how we fill this hour. And we also, of course, I do private readings at weforetell.com, and to find the contact number and the schedule, just look below in the description there. And also be sure to check out all the other free things that we offer here on YouTube, on the channel here. And this includes our horoscopes, which are based upon a combination of the sun sign and the moon sign, and give you a chance to also learn a lot more about readings, about tarot cards. We have tarot card lessons, and we have compatibility videos, which show you how to different signs get together. So be sure, if you like what you see there, to hit a thumbs up, because it really makes a difference, and we do thank you for your support. And here's SJ joining us in the chat room and saying hi. SJ, we had quite a thing going on last weekend when we had the new moon and the solar eclipse happening at the same time on Saturday. And SJ is asking for a reading for what's going on in the life there. So let's see. Let's see what your guides will show to me, SJ. The reason the card comes upside down is to show that it is the opposite meaning. You are not tied and locked in to what you've been doing, and this is what's coming to you now. We're in a situation where you thought you really had no choice, SJ, where you thought you were locked in to what was going to happen. Things have turned upside down there. The same as the card. So there's going to be a change that allows you to release the past. And nothing can happen until we release the past. That's how, when you release the old cycle, this is how we bring the new cycle into our life. And SJ, if I ask your guides where you are right now, it's letting something go from the past. And what this is releasing what's in your heart, saying what has been an energy blockage between your heart and your vocal cords. There's something that you need to release, and this is, if you allow it to stay inside of you, it'll be like a cork in the champagne bottle that explodes. And this is This is not good for anybody. Right, right. Now here's Heather joining us in the chat room. Heather says good evening and asking how I'm doing. I, I'm feeling well, feeling very well, and feeling that there's so many things in my life that are coming towards um, a conclusion. I think before this month is over, I feel like there's so many things in my life that um, are coming to a crossroads. They're all meeting. They're all coming together. And if Heather, if I draw a card on you for this evening, let's see. Heather says, I can feel that too. Something coming. It, it's what's been building up this entire year. You know, I've I'm still trying to get that car on the road. That the car that I was going to buy in the spring. It still has not come together yet. So we were going to pull a card on Heather and see what her guides will show us. Oh, Heather, that's they in the tarot card biz. That's what they call the luckiest card in the deck, the most fortunate card that you could possibly pull. And of course, the Pentacles are about money. So there's some really, Heather, good news that is is about to come your way. This is like you're going to have an early Christmas. Something um, finding that crossroads, right, being in the right time at the right place. That's what this is. So you really got some good times to look forward to. Now here's Cody joining us and asking how I'm doing. And I was just mentioning that the I I tried my best to buy a used car back in the spring, and it turned out to be quite a journey, and the the um, gentleman that I was having work on this car had a heart attack, and I had just gotten back in touch with him when apparently he's had another setback, and so it's something that has been put off and put off and put off, and I believe it is going to finally come to a conclusion. It is finally going to find an end here soon. I can feel it. I can feel it coming to me. Now, Cody, if I pull a card on you, it's about the taking the next step towards bringing happiness into your own life, towards building, Cody, trying to build family, build community. That's what this is you taking the proper steps to make things a reality, bring your dreams into reality. And it's about finding that partner this this shows that you're going to find, and theirs too. That's the big thing, is to find the balance point, to be able for both partners to do what they do best, and to create a better creation than they build a community. Yes, to be able to help other people, and that's really, you know what's happening here, Cody, is that evolution happens to all of us. Evolution is why we're here, is to evolve, and that means that evolution itself is evolving. This is why we have to change all the time. The goalpost keeps moving because evolution, the whole concept of enlightenment, keeps getting bigger and evolving into something else. Everything in this universe is evolving. It's changing. It's growing. What does the sun do besides energize all of us? The sun is hydrogen that reaches a heat that makes it fuse into helium. Helium, the stuff inside balloons, the agent that puts everything in the universe in motion. But the sun itself is constantly changing. It's constantly exploding and burning and being changing, morphing into something else. And this is what we also are here to do. We can all feel these changes that come into our lives, just like the rising tide. You can feel, or when a storm is coming through and a front moves in, and you can feel the air pressure changing. This is a cue to everything that we do. Everything is forever changing out there. Astrology in particular. You know what we were talking about the other day about Neptune now being in Pisces? Well, the last time that this happened, 240 years ago, was before the discovery of the planet Neptune. Neptune and Pluto weren't discovered until after 1900. So astrology as we know it today didn't even reach full maturity using all of the planets until less than 100 years ago. Astrology, this ancient way of reading different personalities, has had to morph. It's had to evolve. It's had to change as new discoveries have been made as to the solar system. You know, Uranus was discovered in 1830, and that was the first big change. The first thing past Saturn that you can see all the way to Saturn with the naked eye. So the discovery of Uranus was because of the curved lens in the telescope, and at that time they finally found that there was another planet, indeed the planet of electricity. Uranus has an electrical storm that's always been going on as far as anyone knows, and we discovered that planet the planet of electricity, at the same time that we discovered electricity here on Earth. And Ben Franklin and the key and the kite. This is all happened at the same time. Cody says, like I said before, mix of Orson Welles, Walt Disney, and Jackie Gleason in my personality. And I like to create things and can see the full picture of the greatest, biggest, spectacular productions and other things of great value. And this, think about how you've evolved in different lifetimes, Cody. And at one time, the only thing that would have involved that many people would have been military operation. Right. So at one time, it stands to reason that you would have been a military planner. And yes, Cody and I talking about the 8 lives. That's the theory of 9 lives is one of those things that we don't know for a fact, but when I think back in my own life, I can see 8 times when I could have died. It was, there went the truck and there I went. And just a matter of a split second. And when you start counting these up, and then you decide that perhaps you're going to be in your last life now, that could be very counterproductive to you. Having hope for the future. This is the whole idea behind astrology. To have hope for better times coming. Hope for a good future. That's heaven. That's nirvana. That's the whole basis of religion, is to try and open the doors to allow us to join God. And of course, the religions differ on whether it is possible to do that yourself or whether you need that particular religion to become the stairway to heaven for you. And that's really the difference between so many religions. Do they teach that only through their religion can you find your enlightenment, or can you find it for yourself? Can you become an enlightened soul simply by using the guidance that you receive by living in this life? This is what you're here for, right? Cody says, I felt I was close to dying too, and my guidance and God's protection over me. And isn't that extraordinary that you can be pulled back from the brink? You can be saved as though your guides are really leading the way, clearing the path for you. And when you stop using your guides and asking for their help, you can find your path being blocked. And this is your guide's way of saying, you think you don't need us, huh? Well, of course it is. Your guides are humans. They were in human form at one time. Your guides are those who have reached their enlightenment and no longer need to reincarnate into another life in order to learn. They have learned what they need to know, and they have also learned that none of us are going to go to heaven and be with God until we all go together. It takes every human, every last one of us, reaching our enlightenment for the next phase of this planet to come into being. Cody says, I've prayed to God plenty of times and said, Lord, protect me and have your hands over me. And that is such an effective prayer. You, when bad weather is coming, you can put a dome over your house. Surround your loved ones with protection, a protective dome that tornado can bounce right over. These are very, very possible things if we do what we know is right. That's the Ten Commandments, right? 10 Commandments are the least that a human can possibly do and live in the same world with other humans. Cody says, God has answered my prayers plenty of times. And your prayers, Cody, are always answered, but often not with the answer that we want to hear. Not with the answer we were looking for. Very often things come into our life that we think, well, that's bad news. But it turns out to be the best thing that ever happened. The best thing that could have happened. It turns out to be what you needed. And this is your guides trying their best to get you onto the right path. And the proper path for all of us is to realize, first of all, that everybody makes mistakes. How many times has the Bible been edited, changed? Certainly it was changed by the Roman Emperor Constantine, who was a glutton and an imbiber of alcohol. These two things were strictly against the Christian faith until the Roman Empire took on the Christian faith as their faith, and many things were changed, such as the fact that the commandment, thou shalt not kill, applies to animals too. Jesus was a vegetarian, a strict vegetarian. Jesus would never have slain an animal. The animals gathered around, and Jesus, his birth was in the cave where all the animals were kept. When Jesus came to town, they said, well, he's riding that small donkey to show how humble he is. He was being borne by the donkey. Animals came to Jesus to be blessed. Jesus was a strict vegetarian. Jesus did not believe in killing animals. And that part was removed from the Bible for the Roman Emperor Constantine, who could not give up red meat and could not give up hard drink, strong drink. These things change, and yet We have religions that refuse to evolve, that refuse to change, that can stick to what you might even call a lie. And people have been known to lie to other people for their own good. When I grew up as a child, one of the great beliefs of the entire country was that George Washington, as a child, had chopped down his father's cherry tree, and when his father asked who chopped it down, George said, "Father, it was I." That story was made up by an English teacher. And you can tell from the way George was talking to his father. But imagine something that was a lie, told for their own good, told to these children to make them feel better about the politicians of their time who were getting in so much trouble that we needed a reinforcement of there has been some good politician. But when you think about the lie about George Washington and how it was accepted by so many people for so long, and then you look at all the lies that are told these days by those we call politicians, and how it doesn't matter which side you're on, they both tell lies about each other. Now they both can't be telling the truth, right? They both can't be right, but they can be wrong. We have to do our own research. In anything you know is either based upon fact, on knowledge, or it's based upon somebody else's opinion. This is why we get angry. This is why politicians get angry at each other. Anger comes when you subconsciously know that your side of the argument is not based on knowledge. It's based upon opinion. This is why people get so angry and can hold on to such fanatical viewpoints. We all are very capable of becoming fanatical lunatics. Why? Because we eat animals and have been doing it for so long, and it's so wrong. Cody says, I do feel like there were some things that were taken away from the Bible, and the strict Christian religion people don't want us to know about. Yes, and so much of that is the Adam and Eve thing, and trying to put all of the blame on Eve, when Adam and Eve, the word, the name Adam comes from a Jewish word that means from the red earth, the red dirt born of the earth. And it also means a pair. One of the things that was removed from the Bible are the books of Adam and Eve, the two books of Adam and Eve. And in these books, we see that God is a very forgiving God, rather than the punishing God that we've been led to believe that God is. The Adam and Eve had to leave the Garden of Eden. They had broken a rule, and this is really the beginning of the world. And I think that Adam and Eve came in as a pair, and they when they have children, this is they have their first child is Cain, and Cain has a twin sister. Now we know this because Cain's name. Do you know in the Hebrew language, every one of the 22 letters, and there are no vowels in the Hebrew language, every one of the 22 letters represent an entire thought. And to get the meaning of a word, you add the thoughts together of the letters. The name Cain means hater, because Cain came in with a hatred, came into this life with a hatred of his twin sister. These are parts of the Bible that were removed, and one of the biggest ones is that what made Cain so angry enough to murder his brother, was the fact that his sacrifice was not received by God. It was denied by God. And the sacrifice that Cain was trying to make was the two smallest sheep from his flock. Animals. You're not supposed to kill animals. Cain had just pushed his brother Abel away from the altar. Abel was going to make a sacrifice of the best of his crop, the food. The reason that Adam and Eve built the altar in the first place was to burn leaves which had been given to them from God, so they could remember the smell of the Garden of Eden, to burn those leaves on an altar so the smell would go up to God. They were making the sacrifice of what one of the things they had been, the holy things they had been allowed to take out of the Garden of Eden. It was a sacrifice in the right way. And when Cain made his sacrifice of the animals, not only was that wrong, but he did it in a very unhumble way. He pushed his brother out of the way. He said, "Hey, all right, God, here you go. And, here's your two sheep right here." And God did not send down a bolt of lightning to burn the sacrifice as he had with Adam's sacrifice of the leaves. It's God's light that came down and burned those leaves and released the sacrifice, and showed Adam and Eve that they were doing the right thing, that this was right. So when Cain kills Abel, the name Abel means here for only a short time, like a gust of wind. So when Cain kills Abel, we find that God is inside of each and every one of us in the blood, and that's the soul that has been placed inside of every human being is God. And it was the blood that God said called out to him. Your brother's blood calls out to me. And the punishment for Cain was to live for 6 generations. It took 600 years until one of his descendants, his son, killed him. His son had reached old age and was blind, but was still a very good shot with the arrow, the bow and the arrow and the sling. And not being able to see who it was, he mistakenly kills Cain. But Cain fathered a huge portion of the population of the world, and his brother Seth was the replacement of Abel. Abel was also born with a twin sister, and the way that Satan was able to get Cain to do what he did was by telling him that Adam and Eve have just decided that your brother, the younger brother, he's like 3 years younger, is going to get to marry your twin sister, the beautiful one, and they want you to be married to Abel's twin sister, the not so beautiful one. So temptation has always been the tool of Satan, and we have to remember that the fallen angels are shapeshifters and can take on any form, any temptation. Temptation is why we are here in this world, right? Is to evolve and to be able to see through the temptations of this world. Some things never change, says Cody. Also, the thing with reincarnation was also deleted as well. This is a very good point, because Jesus obviously believed in reincarnation and resurrection at the same time. Of the major religions, we have 3 that believe in reincarnation and 3 that believe in resurrection, and nobody who believes in both, when it's pretty obvious that that's the whole thing. One of the points that's brought up in the books of Adam and Eve is that Adam and Eve felt so bad about being thrown out of the Garden of Eden that they attempted to kill themselves. They did kill themselves at least 3 different times. And the word of God came to them and brought them back to life. I think this is reincarnation. This is where it starts. To be coming through different lives was the whole reason that angels were ever sent to earth before humans came, was to set up the temptations. This is the way humans learn. Humans learn from making mistakes. And the reason there are so many of us is so we can learn from each other. We can learn from each other's mistakes. This is why there's billions of people humans who are on this planet, and each and every one, and each and every animal is connected to God. They have God inside of them. You are not supposed to cause pain to animals. It's to eat animals, to eat red meat is it puts another 20 years on your enlightenment. Cody says, when your daughter told me, this is my daughter Amy, about those 8 lives, it made much sense with my personality and characterization lies by itself. Yes, and this is the purpose, excuse me, of being able to see the former lives is to be able to see from a different point of view in each one of those lives. Now, what is the biggest thing that changes our life? It's which gender we are. So, it is very possible for any human being, when they are being reincarnated, to choose to be either a male or female. Now, in about 1 out of every 7 lives, and this is because 7 is the blessed number. 7 is the number of connecting the two worlds. In the 7th life, the 7th go around every time for people being reincarnated, they choose the other gender. They choose to be the other gender. Why do they do this? Because they're trying to connect to God, because they are trying to remove the temptation of sex. So this person who's had 6 lives as one sex now is having their first life in a long time as the other sex, and they're very confused. They themselves are having a hard time adjusting to this situation. But we have to remember the reason they've done it is to remove temptation from their life, because sex is the other thing, along with red meat. If you are sexually active, you're going to add another 20 years to finding your enlightenment. If you are celibate, if you do not eat red meat, and if you are lucky enough to have good health, you can find your enlightenment by the age of 20. If you're a meat eater, add 20 years to it. If you're sexually active, add another 20 years to it. If you have bad health, add another 20 years to it. At 60 years old, this is when most people on this earth are going to find the doors now open to them, and their mind can allow the new knowledge in. They can keep changing, evolving. Evolution never ends. Say, evolution keeps us changing all the time. Here's Cody says, when your daughter told me I did from other lives, told me that one time I owned a big piece of land, was brothers of Buddha, a wine snobber, and of course an entertainer. It's it's a gift that my daughter has to be able to see the actual spirits that you're talking about when she does readings. Those spirits will come to her in her room, and she, of course, when she was younger, this seeing spirits was very frightening for her. And it took us 40 years to work it out, right? To be able to understand who she was seeing and why. And it answers so many questions within your own mind to know these things. So she has a wonderful talent for being able to bring out that knowledge that people have. It's within that person that it exists. That's the only way she could know these things. Heather says she's amazing and helped me and the kids out. She's she has had hard lives, previous lives, and came into this life with abandonment issues, and that's why she chose my wife and I as her parents, because the way we grew up and the way we came together, we will always be together. There was no chance that we were ever going to split up, and I think that's why my daughter chose us in this life, and very straightforward. Yes, she is. She lives in today's world, and she's very honest individual, and has. I have two granddaughters who are both very gifted psychically. It's a wonderful thing to see those that you love be able to carry on a tradition, a family tradition. Cody says, she said, I definitely remember my seventh life because my last life, good memories in the early days of Hollywood. And Heather says, God bless your heart. Right in her. Oh, mate. The biggest change for anybody, the biggest risk any human can take is to have children. Here's another thing about the books of Adam and Eve. They reveal the fact that Adam and Eve were supposed to live forever. There was no reason for Adam and Eve to ever have children. There was no reason for them to get the knowledge from the tree of life, to figure out how to create children. It was all about Satan tempting Adam and Eve to become gods, to be able to create life. This is what they saw the animals doing, creating life. They thought that's how you get closer to God. Heather says, she is, talking about my daughter there, doing uh, doing work on the channel here, and it's such a thing. I didn't discover this until 15 years ago, when I had a heart attack. Well, actually, heart attacks, and really couldn't work anymore. Couldn't do anything. I had to find some way of working from here, from my room, and being able to reach out to so many people has just been a wonderful thing. It's been wonderful therapy for me to be able to learn how to do this entire thing, and that's a, a great thank you to the We Foretell family for allowing me to do this and learn on the job to find out that what I can do. You never know what you can do until you try, and it's about having faith in yourself, faith in your own ability. You know what we never did tonight was go over if you were born today. Of course, we're in the last couple of days of Libra. Here we're just about to come on over to death and taxes, time with Scorpio. But we're in Libra, and moon sign is in Capricorn. We all, when Capricorn is up, man, we all need this to be useful to all to society, and to never have to seek the approval of the authorities. Jesus was a Capricorn. That's right. And the people in numerology, those born today, are a 1 plus 9 equals 10. Yeah, to be a 10 is to be the doorway between worlds. To 10 is the ending of the old cycle and the beginning of the new cycle, and that the 1 is taking action, and the 9 is about being the leader, showing other people how it's done. Heather, Cody says, I definitely had some good memories in Hollywood and New York audience, live in all these shows, radio and TV. Heather says, estimated availability. Okay. And go to the website, and we're finding Amy on the website there, and be composing with the orchestra. And this is the great thing about our chat room here. It's a wonderful group of people who share with each other, and being able to share experiences. This is what astrology is. We write down what happened to us on a certain day, and we look at the cosmic layout, and you put that together as a way of being able to not only understand yourself, but to understand other people. And Heather is saying that we're amazing too. Yes, I would be here on Fridays. This is I have a really great time doing this, to be able to be of a service to other people, and to be able to see so often that I can relate to what they're going through. And when I hear the questions that come from people, in your mind, that your voice, this is how your spirit guides talk to you. This is how your guides will always contact you, is when you are giving advice to someone else, when you're explaining something to someone else, giving the reasons for things. Listen to yourself, and you will hear messages from your guides. They're always using the voice that you will trust most. That's you sound like yourself. Your conscience does, right? In the back of your mind. Sometimes this is your guides using your voice. Your guides can even jump right out of your heart where they are, out your mouth. You can say things that amaze you, right? Where did that come from? Why did I tell that person to get out of my life? I, this is your guides. And when I do readings for people, it's because my guides can hear your guides coming through your voice, even coming through your typewritten questions. The amazing thing is that it works the very same without having to have the voice, and it's a really interesting phenomenon. Cody says it's like the great night of the week with all of the wonderful entertainers, and this is why that you still today see the reruns of those particular entertainers. Think about how many more there were that didn't stick in the mind. Those one and out people who then had to go out and find something else to do because it just didn't work out. You've got to be very lucky to find what you do and be able to do it in such a way as to help other people and give it to the world. It's like a great event, always to look forward to. This is what entertainment is, Cody. It's something to look forward to, something to give us hope for a better future. That's what everything we do. You know, if we can put peace and love into the world and put hope for a better future into the world, that's the best that we can possibly do. So before our hour comes to an end here, let me say thank you to all of those who participated in the show tonight. And remember, hit the thumbs up button to show your support. This is the Cosmic Watch. I'm Franklin, and we'll be back next week. Same time, same channel. Hope to see you then.